Bushcraft family here today, and I've kind of got a lot of I've got a few emails and stuff that people that been wanting to start prepping, and they found my other video a little bit challenging. It was a little bit much, so I figured um, I would break down something that I think that would, if you're just never planned it or anything like that, and you after 2020 came along, you're wanting to become a prepper, basically. So I came up with this um, kind of 10 list how to start prepping, basically. So let's get down to it. I'll kind of explain each one of these as we go. Number one, water is a must. Go fill up your jugs. Get as many jugs that you can get that you can sterilize and seal up real good. If you don't have the jugs, you can buy them for about 5 gallons. You can buy that for what, seven. You can $5 to $7 to $8. You can buy them, fill them up, um, mark, put a piece of tape on there, mark when you put it in there, um, and then say 6 months down the road, you need to either empty it and refill it, re-sterilize it, and all that stuff, or you can always just keep it there. And a good way to sterilize water, but still, you should always boil water on top of this. But it takes 8 drops of bleach, the good bleach, 8 drops of bleach for a gallon of water. And you just put the bleach in there, shake it about, let it set for a day, and it should kill all the bacteria that has been produced. Um, if you don't have one good way I found, um, the water cooler waters that you can get nowadays, you can just go and buy the jug and everything for 12 to $18. Walmart has them for 14, I think. Um, it's good sterilized water and everything. As long as you don't open it, it'll stay pretty good for a good while. Number two, big one. Take a look at your budget. Um, how much money can you put toward getting your supplies to start becoming a prepper? Um, and I always say that there's things that we get um, that we don't 100% need. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it. Um, because, like, say you have TV right now, cable. Um, you can buy a Roku or Roku, whatever them things are. There's Fire Sticks too, but I think Roku's are the cheapest. Where all you need is internet, and you can. There's a bunch of free stuff that you can use for TV and stuff like that, and that'll save you for cable nowadays. That'll save you quite a bit. Say you're paying $75 or up. Just think how much money or how much preps, as in food and stuff, extra that you could buy for just knocking out your cable. Um, and there's always plans that you can try to get a cheaper plan and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of stuff like that that you can cut out. You gotta kind of make it like, um, would I rather watch TV or would I rather feed my family? Something like that. Um, you got to look at it for something like that. Let's see. Number three, take inventory of your food supply. See how much you got and how much that you can squeeze over to the side, like canned foods and canned meat and stuff like that. How much can you put for on the side for your preps to last a while? Um, that's always a good thing, and determine what you need to work at. What are some of the things that you need to start putting back? Um, always any canned meat will last quite a bit. Tuna, chicken, stuff like that. Um, yeah, basically stuff like that. Number four, um, think about gardening. Do you have enough space to make raised beds? If you don't, you can always use containers, 5 gallon buckets, stuff like that. And you can stockpile a lot of that stuff. For one thing, like root stuff like carrots and um, potatoes, turnips, stuff like that. You can actually store those down in your basement, sand and stuff like that. Just cover them up. They'll last a long time. There's numerous things. Uh, Learn how to can food. All the stuff that you harvest, put back in um, into your prepping, your pantry. Um, Stuff like that. Gardening is a good way to, and there is, you can't garden in the winter. In some cases you can, but not if you're just starting out. And um, yeah, there's also some things that you can plant in your house. Um, there's like the micro greens and stuff that you can use, that you can eat and stuff like that in a pinch. Um, but yeah, that's a good one. Number five, um, yeah, be pre- be prepared to defend your home and your family. Um, don't rely on 911. Uh, Chances are, if it's a very dangerous person or something like that, then by the time they get there, it's already too late. So, um, I'm not saying you have to get a gun or anything like that, but there's other ways of protecting yourself. Oops, I said the G word. Oh well, but that is one way to defend yourself. But there are others. A good old baseball bat. Um, there's there's numerous ways. There's stun guns. There's mace, bear spray, stuff like that. Um, but yes, that's a major one. Um, Number six, have a bug out plan. And for a bug out plan, this I'm not going to say just a bug out plan. Um, this is something you need to start working on. You start with a bag. You start putting things in it that you can survive on. You can bug out with. Um, there's tons of stuff that you can put in this stuff, but that's one step. The next step would be find a location. If you're in the city, you want to get out of the city, and you want to have a plan how to get out of the city, and a location. Myself, I have multiple locations where I would bug out if need be. But the plan is always to stay where you're at as long as you can. But eventually, if things are really bad, eventually you're going to have to bug out. And it's a good idea for you to have a plan for this and to work on this plan too. Um, if you don't have property somewhere, or you don't have family that has property somewhere, find a location um, that is very wooded, and you a place where you could hide toward the middle of it, where you would not be seen by people passing by on the roads or anything like that. And a good way to look for property for this, um, look look at Google Maps and find a location that is really green. There's no houses around, and then find out who owns this property. And a lot of times, people own property and don't even live in the state. They live in Florida or warm places like that, and they just hold on to it and for family and stuff like that. Um, a lot of times, that would be an ideal place to bug out. You don't want something to bug out that where a family already lives there or something like that because that could be dangerous. And you want to have plans like this set in place. And also, you want to be able to not only have a way to drive to that location, but how would you walk that way if you didn't have a vehicle? And you want to plan out the routes and all this, a lot of stuff involved in that. But that's one plan that you want to work on. Number seven, um, prep for a power outage. Say your power goes out for longer than a couple hours. Say your power's out for 2 weeks or a month. How are you going to if power's out that long? Your water's not going to be there no more. Um, how are you going to cook? You might have gas, but eventually that gas is going to run out. Um, do you know how to make a fire? Have a way that you can actually make a fire outside that you could cook on. Um, as in lights and stuff. There's cheap ways to have lighting in your house. One way is the dollar store. Yep, the dollar store. You can go down to Dollar Tree, and a lot of times during the gardening times and stuff like that, they sell these little stick lamps that you stick in your grass, and it charges its internal battery in the daytime, and at nighttime it flips on and it turns into a light. So you could go buy a bunch of those, put them out in your yard during the daytime, bring them in the house, and you have lighting in your house. Um, Another thing is you can look toward solar generators and stuff like that, power cells. Um, there are people that have batteries that you can hook, build you a little bicycle that you can sit there and pedal and charge your cell phones and the major things. But yeah, plan on a power outage because in our lifetime we're gonna experience this. Sometimes it's only for a couple days, sometimes it's for an hour, sometimes it's for 2 weeks. We had power outages a few years back, and people went out and went hog wild over generators and stuff. They were fighting over them at the hardware stores and stuff like that, and eventually uh, a lot of them were stolen. There was a couple people really badly hurt trying to defend their generators. So you want to have alternative ways of getting power, and that's just a major thing to think about. Okay, number eight, educate yourself. Knowledge is power. Yes. Um, People sometimes get all these little gadgets and things to go start fires and to do all kinds of stuff. And they have all these gadgets, and then something happens and they go out and they can't do a dang thing because they've never used it. Um, the little saw with the key rings on each end, people, oh yeah, that'll work. And they go out there, boom, it breaks. And then what do you do? You want to learn all of your prepping and your bug out stuff. You want to learn that stuff. You want to practice that. Practice um, in your backyard, make a fire pit and practice starting fires in multiple different ways. Um, Not just a lighter, not just matches. Um, a ferro rod. Practice that. Um, there's there's really bushcrafty methods that you can use with going out in friction fires and stuff like that. It's You want to have a backup plan on your backup plan, and you always want to make sure that you know how to do all this stuff, and just plus you want to have knowledge of all this stuff. um, how to sterilize water, how to filter water, how to make your own filtering system for water, because water is one of the most important things of being a prepper, because you can't live without it. um, and knowledge, you can have knowledge on making a rain catchment system in your at your house so you have water. um, you have to be careful. A lot of states don't allow that. Like my state does, but my city doesn't. So I still have it, but it's disguised. We'll just put it that way. Um, yeah, always be learning. And number 9, be in shape. A lot of times people forget about this stuff, and when it comes time, it's usually too late. If you had to bug out to where you had to run, you and your family run for your life to get away from somebody, could you? Everybody thinks they could, but with your adrenaline running through your bloodstream, and the fear and shock, and just it'll zap all your energy, and you got to have that extra boost to get away sometimes, or just to be in shape to provide for your family. And that's a really important one. Number 10. Um, this is kind of, I put this in here because I think it's important. Don't share your prepping plan. Don't share that you have stockpile food or water or any of that stuff. Um, you can share to your immediate family in trying to get them to do it themselves. But a lot of times, people just, you can tell them over and over again, and then it doesn't sink in, and it's too late sometimes. But don't go tell your neighbors, hey, I've been prepping for 2 years, and I've got a year's full of food, and I've got batteries and solar and all this stuff. Don't do that, because that person gets hungry, and oh, my neighbor has all that stuff, and then you have to deal with your neighbors. So that's a major thing. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this is a little bit more clearer and everything for you guys. Sorry, traffic out there. We're going to go ahead and pick our two um, two YouTube channels. I had a blank thing there. Um, I'm going to go ahead and shout two people out, two YouTube channels that I want you guys to go check out, and hopefully you subscribe to them. But we're going to go with Bees Head, Bees, Beehead. I'll get it out. BeeHeads Outdoors, and let's find the next one. Let's go with uh, I don't know. Hmm. I'm starting to run out of people here. Um, yeah. Oh, here we go. I ran across her not too long ago. This is Green Witch Homestead. She makes her own soap and everything. Shows you how to do it and everything. It's a good trait to learn. But yeah, go check those channels out. They'll be in the description below. And please like, share, comment. Hit that funky bell so you know when I'm popping a video out. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. And if you do subscribe, please just drop down in one of my videos and say hey. That way the subscription will stick. Until next time, God bless.